So, I'm here, still in a position where I did not watch last night's game between the Vancouver Canucks and the New Jersey Devils, but I wanted to talk about what Elliotte Friedman brought up on the latest article of 32 thoughts. It's actually, 28 thoughts? 23? Yeah, something like that, but it's 32. Friedman published this yesterday on November 2nd, and there is a very interesting Canucks-related conversation in thought number 12. There are obvious reasons the Canucks added Ethan Bear and Jack Studnicka. To try and get better, duh, and to see if a new home energizes either player. But it's clear that management wanted to create more competition on the roster. The players aren't entirely responsible for what's happened, aka losing all the games they did to start out the year, winning two and then losing yesterday like they did against New Jersey. But, Friedman writes, judging from some conversations I had last week, Jim Rutherford felt too secure on what was an 0-5-2 team until back-to-back wins over Seattle and Pittsburgh. He made it very clear to the Vancouver Canucks player personnel that jobs were on the line, and Vancouver was willing to find ways to change things. And you know what? It's really interesting that Friedman writes about that, because at the same time, when it comes to Jim Rutherford and everything that he's been talking about to the media and all the quotes that he has said by guys like Rick Dhaliwal, etc., we know, at least publicly speaking, the Vancouver Canucks do not want to make a panic move. But when you see the team losing games in the ways that they have, it becomes a lot easier to believe in the idea that maybe a trade of somebody that you would say is a prime roster player should be somewhat on the crosshairs. If you talk about guys like Bo Horvat, there have been conversations about him and the inability of either party, Horvat or the Canucks party, to get some form of a contract extension done. And when you talk about the way he's been playing, I mean, his value is going up, oddly enough. In a way that I think a lot of people could say, okay, this could be either very good for the Canucks if they're actually going to trade him away, or this could be pretty bad because all that stuff that his agent has been saying, oh, he's a first-line caliber center, oh, he might need to be getting paid the same as Couturier, $7-point-something million. If Bo Horvat continues scoring at the way that he has, then maybe that sort of thing is actually more plausible to believe. Now, I'm not saying that Bo Horvat is a $7.7 million forward, but I am saying that if you're looking at the stats and you're seeing how frequently Bo Horvat actually scores goals, there is an argument to be made about him maybe getting an amount of money that a lot of people in Vancouver would say he is absolutely not worth. Since the start of the 2019-20 season, Bo Horvat has been keeping pretty good company among the NHL's power play goal-scoring leaders. He is tied with Connor McDavid and 4 behind Austin Matthews. He's behind Ovechkin, Stamkos, Pastrnak, Zibanejad, Kreider, and Draisaitl, and that is it. Mike K replies saying this: the problem is, Bo Horvat does very little even strength. Patterson replies, his production is a fascinating study, especially in a platform year. Goal scorers certainly get paid, but by whom and by how much? Harmon Dale said that Bo Horvat has 25 goals in his last 34 games, dating back to last season's stretch run. Now, if you do 25 divvy 34, multiply it out by 82, Bo Horvat in that span is on pace for 60 goals, and this season alone he is on pace for 57 on the year per Elite Prospects, and their summary right here, you can see Bo's got 8 goals in 10 games, 2 assists, so he's a point-per-game player. He's on pace for 82 points on 82 games in the season, and that's kind of, it's not really a territory that I think Canucks fans would expect that Bo Horvat is capable of, but even if you talk about how often this guy scores on the power play, how often he's able to make the good snipe on the rush to get it by a goaltender, Bo doesn't really play a game that I feel is the most aligned with what a lot of people would indicate Bo Horvat's reputation is. A lot of people like to say, oh, he's a defensively responsible two-way center, he's this, he's that, but I think a lot of Canucks fans are starting to see that Bo isn't really that. I mean, this tweet from JD Burke goes out there and summarizes things in a way that I think is actually pretty easy to comprehend. Take a look at this tweet. It's absolutely wild that in the year 2022, there's an NHL team sending both Bo Horvat and JT Miller out to kill penalties. As a unit even. Yes, on-ice penalty kill numbers are highly system and team dependent, but we are talking 19th percentile shot suppression on a group of 150 qualifying forwards in this sample, which says nothing of how otherworldly awful the tape is. Essentially what this means is that Horvat and Miller are not great penalty killers, as they allow a lot of shooting opportunities towards their goal when they're on the ice relative to when they are not. A reply here from Craig says if Bo can't kill penalties, then what is he? Burke replies, it's not an if. Bo can't kill penalties. He can't defend at even strength either. What Bo Horvat is a north-to-south sniper with decent handling skill who finds the back of the net at an okay clip. And plus the fact that he can win face-offs and everything, Bo Horvat gets the majority of his production and goals by being the net front bumper guy, with one-timers and with his shooting ability on the rush north-south. I don't know if it's all too fair to use that Sean Couturier example as a proper comparable here, because Bo's playmaking isn't necessarily the best, his two-way stability I wouldn't say is necessarily the best either, but, like J-Pat said as well, goal scorers get paid. And is Bo Horvat really the guy that deserves to be getting that amount of money from this team? I mean, you could see that he scores goals. We've been seeing this for a while now. Even in 2020 in the bubble, Bo Horvat was scoring goals like crazy. He was up there with McDavid when it comes to his goal production. But at the end of the day, I mean, you talk about Jim Rutherford saying that some players have to be held accountable. You talk about the future of the contract negotiations and how far apart everything is. Methinks that there is a more likely reason to believe that Bo's future in Vancouver isn't the most guaranteed thing when you think about everything that's been going on here. His reputation says that he's a goal-scoring two-way face-off winning center, but he really is just a goal-scoring face-off winning center. When it comes to his numbers, the numbers justify a dollar amount that is probably worth what a franchise would give as 7.7 AAV, because if the guy's on pace for 60 goals, I mean, a 60-goal scorer making $7.7 million is a pretty good contract, but I don't know if this fan base, this group of media people, the journalists, all the people that watch these Canucks games are believing in that, because I know I kind of don't. I mean, I don't want to doubt his abilities, for sure, but Elias Pettersson is still a better player. I'd say that Quinn Hughes is a more refined and offensively creative player that helps his team out in more ways than Bo does. I don't know, man, a part of me wants to see the team lose even more just so we can get these game-changing, jobs-on-the-line type of trades, you know? Like, Rutherford having that sort of sentiment towards the team, saying, hey, like, you guys gotta get your act together because not everybody's job is safe here. Tanner Pearson, Connor Garland, maybe even Bo or a JT, y'all's jobs aren't safe here. That kind of thing is something that I actually want to see get executed with this team because, you know, after being used to Benning for so long, we're not seeing any sort of big moves that actually help the team out in a positive way because, yeah, Benning didn't do those. He traded away the future for good Branson and Toffoli, and guys that actually weren't that bad, but that he wasn't able to keep because, yeah, Benning. But either way, you can talk to the comments your thoughts about this Bo Horvat conversation. I honestly don't know why I made this video. I just kind of have a little bit of a feeling that I think this is worth talking about more so than it had been ever before. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Bo Horvat and his crazy goal production. The fact that he is literally like one of the best goal scorers in the NHL dating the past few months here. How much his contract should be worth, how much the negotiations are going to impact whatever future outcome happens here, whether it's a trade or whatever. We had made a video yesterday talking about Dylan Larkin on his way out of Detroit and whether or not Bo Horvat could be the replacement over there in Motown. But talk to the comments either way, all your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.